You're sitting on so much untapped potential, like it's insane. And when you have watched this video, you're gonna be like as hyped as me because you will understand it too. It's so much there that you have not tapped into, that you have not tried to really discover yet. When I first understood this and when I first read it and just like saw someone talk about it, I was like, what? It's true, but why the fuck haven't I known about this sooner? Why didn't anyone teach me this before now? Like, I feel like this should be a part of our education. Okay, so the words you use to describe yourself, to describe others, to describe your life is saying something about your beliefs. The beliefs you have is your whole world. It's what like creates it. It's what keeps you warm and cozy and safe and makes everything make sense for you. It's something that you probably learned early on, if it was from an adult or a person you just looked up to or you just picked up from someone, okay? It's just something that you have just taken in and just thought like, this is it, this is the truth, this is the real, that is how the world works. Well, let me break this for you, okay? So these are only beliefs that you have chosen to be the answer, to be reality, to be the real thing that you live by. You have chosen it. All right, let that sink in because it's your choice what you believe. And yes, like our society is all like built on beliefs, common beliefs that we have as a collective, just like said, this is the truth, this is how it is, this is how we will live, and this is what is right and what is wrong. And that is really good that we have this because it's what's like keeps the society rolling, you know, like makes everything work, that we have like a justice system and that you go into your neighbor and steal their closet. Like, you know, it's what like makes us humans work so well together. And that's good. Like we all live in a society as a collective and we're yay good. But what is bad is that we often use these beliefs to limit ourselves because we think that we are the person we have always been. Like we were born this way. We have always like heard that we are this way. So therefore you are this way. And therefore that is the only way. But it's not. It's not the only way. It's the way you have chosen things to be. All right? And I know this can be also a little bit triggering maybe because you're probably like, no, I have not chosen life to be like this. I have not chosen to be like this. This is just how things happen. Life happened to me and I'm just a victim of it. You can, but that is a belief. You're a victim because you believe you're a victim. That is one word you choose to describe yourself as, and that is what you believe, and that is how you're going to act. And one evidence of this, if you're still like, no, Silje, it's not like that, it's not that easy, it's not like la. Listen, maybe you see this, or maybe you don't see this, but often we are a little bit different when we are with different people. Like when we are with our friends or with our family, we act as different people because maybe it's a generational thing. Maybe we don't want our parents to see this other side of ourselves that maybe is a little bit more wild or whatever, but we are a little bit different with these two groups of people, okay? And also with friends. Like you have maybe noticed that with some friends you are super loud and chatty and you are just like loud and just having fun and everything. And with others, you're still having fun, but maybe you're a little bit more quiet and more like of the chill one in the group. And that is all because like we are social beings and we're kind of just trying to balance things out. So if we're with someone who is super loud and taking up a lot of space, we maybe take up a little bit like less space to like even stuff out. And the same if you are with people who are a little bit more quiet and more chill, you maybe be the one who talk more and like lead. Like you are two different versions of yourself. Like different people will draw out different like characteristics from you, okay? And that is also something to think about, like which version of yourself do you enjoy the most? That will maybe say a little bit like who you should spend more time with and who you really feels like brings out the best version of you out there. But this is just like the evidence that you are what you think you are. Like you can change. You have the control to decide who you want to show up as. Maybe you have never thought about this before, but if you really think about it, it is the case. You are two different people, or maybe two different versions of yourself with these different people. So that just shows that the personality is a little bit more flexible than you might think and what you first believe. And I started this with saying that like beliefs is often something that you have been told when you were younger, you just picked it up on the way. And if you have never gone like deep dive into that to really look at like, what do I actually believe about myself? Isn't it kind of sad that you most likely are living and limiting yourself today because like maybe a nasty comment that you got when you were 8 and you don't really know about it, that it's something that you picked up as a truth back then and you're using that to limiting yourself today. Isn't that sad? Honestly, when you think about it. And for me, it was like that for a long time because I was kind of really quiet when I was younger, or when I was with my good friends, I would be, of course, chatty and more loud because I was comfortable, but around people, I was really like, no, more like quiet and shy and didn't really want to make a fuss. And then I got older and I still kind of felt like I needed to keep that as a part of who I was, and things changed. And then, you know, you get to high school and it was with all new people. I had also had like the identity since I was really young and through middle school and everything that I was like the smart friend, you know, the really good girl, like kind of quiet, kind of smart and all of that. And that was all good. But when I started my high school, I was no longer the smartest one because it was like a school where people who had good grades from middle school went to, and suddenly I was not the smartest one there. And that was kind of rough for me because then I kind of needed to change my identity a little bit. And then I remember I also got a group of friends that were more quiet or like more chill, I would say. And then I don't know what happened, but I kind of started to take up more space and be more loud and kind of be more like the funny friend in a way and taking up that role. And for me, that was so good to just like blossom and to grow like that and not to keep holding on to this more like quiet, shy identity and just really grow on that. But I remember this one time when my mom was driving these high school friends to a party, and I don't know really why, but I think they said that like, oh, Silje is so good like to talk with people and she or something like that. And my mom was like, isn't she a little bit shy or like doesn't say that much? And they're like, what? And it was just this like crash of two different groups of people kind of colliding. And I was like, shit, because back then I was like this with my friends, but I was still kind of holding a little bit onto this more quiet version of myself when I was with my family and stuff like that. But with my friends and everything, I really blossomed and talked a lot, and it was just like two worlds colliding in a way. And I, for the longest time, really tried to hold on to this new identity with my whole life because, I don't know, I think I in many ways just thought of it as more bad to be looked at as the old me. Like, I didn't want to be seen as the shy kid anymore or the quiet kid. So I think I tried in many settings to overcompensate and be like, whoa, more than I am, and that's not healthy either. But I feel like that is what my early 20s went a lot to, like me being a lot and trying to be like super happy and on and like talk to everyone. And trust me, I love to talk to anyone, but when you kind of put the pressure on yourself that you need to show up as the best version of yourself, the energetic and happy and like talkative, like every time you meet people, like honestly, that's gonna lead to not the best situation for you. Like, you're basically gonna burn out by doing that, by being this all the time and not letting people see other sides of you. So that was like, I feel like for me, early 20s, definitely that, like overcompensating because I was so afraid of people like seeing me as this shy person again. But then I started to take more control over like, okay, no, I don't owe people anything. I don't need to show up as like one version of myself every day. I don't owe anyone that. And I don't owe anyone to kind of show up as the more quiet version of myself, like to my family and friends, or owe anyone to be like super energetic and happy and blah, blah, blah every day. I don't owe anyone anything. I just owe myself to be happy and to really just embrace who I am. I choose to be real. I choose to be authentic, but I choose to be more optimistic and positive to it. But it's not like overcompensating or faking it. That's who I want to be and who I want to show up as. And that is really what I see as my higher self, to have this stability, to have this safety in myself that I don't need to go outside of myself to validate or to be validated. I can just act as I want to, and then the world shall receive. You know, you don't owe anyone anything. And that's the way I want my life to be. And you can also do that. You can choose how you want to show up. You don't need to do all of these things because you think that is what people expect you to do. And yes, maybe they expect you to do some certain things, but you know what? The sooner you start to be comfortable with disappointing people, the sooner you are going to live a happier and fulfilling life. As I said earlier with like me, when I was with family, I was more quiet. I didn't say that much because that is that person I thought was more expected. But then when I went a little bit older, I was like, you know what? Stop. That is just a belief I have brought with me, but it's not necessarily true. I can change that. So then I started to act more as myself and be loud and be more comfortable with just being myself and being weird and all of that. And I love that. And I got a lot of comments, especially from my mom, because she has no filter and she just says things. Oh my God, I actually have a story about this because one time I was at a party and it was like a dare that you were supposed to call your mom and ask about dating tips. So I just called her like in front of everyone and just like said, Mom, I want a boyfriend. Do you have any tips? And she was like, of course, sure. Don't be like you are around other people. Just be like you are home with us, more chill and don't fake it. She said that in front of everyone. And that was, again, two words colliding. And I was like, great. That's not awkward at all. So after that, I just had a little bit of a talk with her and just describing like different sides of you, maybe shine a little bit more when you're with different people and stuff. But now, honestly, they have molded more into one, and now she's starting to get more comfortable with me talking to everyone and me being weird and just talkative and everything. Now she's more comfortable with that. But for her, for the longest time, she just felt like, who is this? She's like faking it, she's all of that, and had this like talk with me, but I was like, Mom, this is who I really am. This is who I really am. And I know this is gonna sound a little bit weird, but I also get sumis. Like, you know, with like the dogs and stuff just running around. I get that sometimes, and just these things where I get a little bit weird, like especially with my old roomie, like we go way back and we're really comfortable with each other, so we get like can be a little bit weird with each other. And this Christmas I was just watching movies with my mom, and then I was like rolled into ball and just like screamed, "I'm a pillow." I don't know, it sounded really stupid saying it that now, but like then I know she would have vibed with me and just like, yes, you're a pillow, you know. We got that kind of vibe. But my mom was just like, what are you doing? And I'm like, I'm a pillow. And she was like, I'm so confused. And I just laughed it so hard. So it's starting to show a little bit more with different people, and I really just love that I am really just deciding who I am. And now I'm just learning and acquiring new skills and really just discovering with myself, what kind of belief have I installed in myself that I can or cannot do? How can I prove myself wrong? Like, that is thoughts and things I go around all the time thinking about. And you should think about it too, because most of it is just things we have picked up and then we have just accepted them as truths. And for me, I was for the longest time like, I'm not good with math, like economy. Before I was like more like, no, I'm all about like being chill and having fun and stuff. I have my job at the cafe and work my hours. I get my paychecks. That's how it is. But I don't really have that much control of like if it's the right amount of hours, if I should do anything with my money, like save it. Like, I didn't really have that control and didn't really think I was the person who looked into like investing and really taking control of my economy. I wasn't really that into that. But now I'm like, no, I'm invested. I'm learning stuff. I want to learn about like investing and be a businesswoman because I want to take care of myself. I want to take care of my parents. I want me to be their best investment. I want them to live like the best life ever. And if I want that to be true and reality, I need to start to show up as the person who has the knowledge to get that kind of money, who also have the knowledge to get different jobs, which will create wealth and stuff like that. And also like with my job now, what can I do in my job to also earn more and get the ball rolling? Like, you know, it's just to change like who you are and just think like, okay, maybe I don't know how to do it now. Maybe I don't feel like I am this person now because I don't know how. But if I educate myself, maybe I actually will enjoy it. Maybe I can change who I am as a person, because when you learn, you have the knowledge and you can take the knowledge and build new habits that will expand who you are, and you can turn yourself into being that person. So as I began this video with saying that you have so much untapped potential that is just waiting for you, I was not kidding. And I hope you see it too now, and that you start to question your own beliefs and like what is real, what is not, and that you actually can decide what is real and what is not. So if you enjoyed this message, please give it a thumbs up, because that is how other people will get the message as well, and we like get to spread the word. And if you want to see more of me, I make videos every single week and talk about cool shit like this, so subscribe if you want to see more of that. And if you like this video, I know that you will also enjoy this video right here, so give it a watch.